Yo, what is good, people? Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2022 My Team Series. Here on the channel today is the Belgian Grand Prix, and we are in for a good episode. This is one of my favourite circuits on the whole calendar. I've been looking forward to this race for the whole season, and here we are with the 10th race of the 16 race season. Currently sat P4 in the vehicle comparison chart. We did have a DRS upgrade fail in the last episode, but we do not have enough resource points to restart that, so we will have to do some training, practice, whatever you want to call it, in training. I've never called it training. We'll have to go through the practice sessions in this race today to pick up some points to be able to do that. So last race we did have our first race with our new teammate Ayrton Senna. He did come P4, which was a great result for Senna in his first race for the team, and a great result for the team as a whole, because of course we picked up 0 points in that last race with that engine failure. So we do have to take, or it was actually gearbox failure, and we can take a new gearbox without a penalty, but we are going to take a penalty in this race and take a new ICE. As you can see there, with 6 races left in the season, we will have to take a new ICE at some point. So I thought, why not do it here in Spa, where I do feel I have a lot of pace. So let's see if we do actually have any pace in this qualifying session, but it would be a perfect track to take a grid penalty and try and fight from the back, as Max Verstappen did in real life this season, which I'm sure everyone remembers. We had a wet Q1 session there, but it started off dry and went wet. So we actually set the fastest lap in the session right at the start, and then it just went wet, so we didn't go back out again for another lap. We get through, of course, our teammate Senna gets through, the 2 Ferraris splitting us 2 there. Ferrari showing obviously how much pace they do have. Now Q2 started wet as well, but it obviously went dry, as you can see later on. So I just sat in the garage for the whole session. Fast forward till the end of the session, because every lap that people put in this session, the track's going to get more and more dry, and that dry line will come out and you'll be able to go faster. So the fastest lap will be set by basically the last person who crosses the line. So we go ahead and slap on the soft tyres and get into this session. As you can see, we've timed it perfectly to come out with 1 minute to go, taking a deep apex for that last corner to get a good run down into turn 1, using all of the track that we can to get a good run down into turn 1, braking just after the 100 metre board, getting quite an early turn in for turn 1. Tried to take a bit earlier than that, but the car wouldn't slow down in time. Max Verstappen takes a really early turn in for turn 1 in Spa, but yeah, so we tried to copy that, but coming through Eau Rouge and Radion, absolutely flying through there, completely flat out all the way down the Kemmel Straight now, as well as we open up DRS. Such a fast section of the track. You know, once you come out of turn 1, you are completely flat out right up until this braking zone here, around 50-60 metres for this right-hander and then the left-hander, and then you're throwing it back to the right again. Tyres starting to overheat at this point of the track because of that quick left-right-left section, and then we're braking downhill, very tricky zone, probably the second most difficult corner, I want to say that one, because it's so easy to lock up as you're braking and turning downhill at the same time. Now this corner I struggle with on every single lap. Just throw it in there. You can see I'm getting unsettled on the inside curb, lucky to not run wide on the exit there. Lose about a tenth, or nearly 2 tenths actually. We pretty much lose all of our time that we had up in the delta through that corner there. Can we make it up through sector 2 and 3? Let's find out. That was a nice bit of rotation using the curbs there for extra help. And then as we get on the throttle again, coming through this corner, can we stay flat out or lose the back end? There's a minor correction there of oversteer, purple through sector 2, even though obviously we bottled sector 1. As you can see, we went red. We've gone purple through sector 2. Our teammate Senna currently in P3. I think Senna's on a flying lap just behind us as well. As we head down into the bus stop chicane now, braking at the 100 metre board, can we get good rotation through the bus stop chicane and get on the throttle as we come out for the final DRS zone, taking the shortest run to the line? We're going to cross the line. I think that was a purple sector 3 also, and it is provisional pole. No, it's not, because that was only Q2. I always do that. I always watch our Q2 laps and think it's Q3. But yeah, that was Q2, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah, it was. So we get P1 in Q2, but we were 1.3 seconds nearly faster than the guy in P2. So that just shows like how much I do actually like this track and how good the car is now at this stage in the season. 1.5 seconds ahead of our teammate Ayrton Senna. That's no, like luck, or that's no childish feat, I should say. That is a weird phrase. Anyway, down into turn 1 again. Let's see if we can get that early turn in, like I've been trying every lap here, braking at the 100 metre board. We go for the early turn and just miss it ever so slightly again. I was trying to copy Max's run or line that he takes, but as you all know if you play this game, sometimes the real life racing line isn't the perfect line for in the game. But Anyway, through Eau Rouge and Raidillon again. So difficult on control level. Now, when you've got a wheel and pedal set up, Eau Rouge and Raidillon is just like, it's just so fun. It really is. A great investment of wheel and pedals if you do not have one. I would recommend it. But wait until I get sponsored by some people and then you get a discount code. But yeah, so Logitech, Thrustmasters, whatever you're called, Fanatec, if you want to send me some discount codes and stuff and some gear, let me know. But anyway, as we get back to it, coming through this lap here on in Q3. This is of course Q3 now, so can we try and slap it on provisional pole? We do have a grid penalty, remember, so provisional pole or pole position would be ideal, so we minimise the loss from that penalty. Sergio Perez puts it on provisional pole. We haven't seen much of the Red Bulls in the last few races. The Red Bulls seem to have been struggling in the last few, which is not what we like to see, having a Red Bull engine in the car, but you know, I mean, it's definitely not the best engine on the grid, but it's been doing as well so far this season. And Fernando Alonso takes that provisional pole. As we head down the back straight now, it looks like it might start to rain again here in Spa. Very, very weird and dynamic weather, always in Spa. You can see the rain clouds look like they're moving back over. It's definitely a lot duller and darker than previously in that Q2 session. But we come through the bus stop chicane, absolutely perfect on the way out of it. Forget to activate DRS. But we still cross the line with provisional pole, and we are in P1. Can we go again for another lap here? There's 18 seconds left in the session. We're currently down in the delta. Can we try and improve through Q2 and 3? I mean, sector 2 and 3. And as we come through this left-hander, no, we cannot. There's going to be a big spin, pushing it to the edge just to try and get that delta back into the green. And we touch the inside curb, but it does not matter. It's good enough for pole anyway. Our teammate Senna in P4. So with the 5-place grid penalty, we are going to end up behind Max Verstappen, I want to say. I can't do maths. Where do we go P5? I can't do maths, but anyway, yeah, we will see in the race where we do end up. But yeah, provisional pole is what you love to see. Let's get it in the race, and as we can see, that dynamic weather again, it's wet.
Once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher back in 1992. Spa Francorchamps is a 4.35-mile tour of the Ardennes countryside, with 9 rights and 10 lefts, giving us a grand total of 19 corners. Average lap speeds in the dry can reach about 145 miles per hour, but without a significant improvement in the conditions, we're not going to be seeing anything like that today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's the owner-driver then in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Senna, Max Verstappen and Sainz, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Perez and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Alex Albon and Latifi, Magnussen, Schwartzman and Sir Lewis Hamilton. They've taken a grid penalty, and Sebastian Vettel, Joe, Tsunoda, Ticktum and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss Red Bull? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
So, we definitely took that extra ICE in the engine, but we are still starting from P1 on the grid. I don't know what to do here because we should be P5 or 6, but the game is glitched and we've got away with not taking a grid penalty. So I was like, do we start the race and try and let 5 people overtake us, or what do we do here? Like, I really didn't know what to do. So yeah, we do the formation lap, obviously starting from pole. We get a good parking space in our grid slot. Not ideal, we could have done with that optimum, especially with it being in the wet, in the rain here, but can we even lead this race through into turn 1? Lights out and away we go. We get off to a great start, I can't lie. Off the line, just absolutely fly into turn 1 ahead of Charles Leclerc, who tries to go around the outside into turn 1. Is that even Charles Leclerc or is it Carlos Sainz? I do not know. One of the Ferraris behind us, but we stay ahead through turn 1. But now we're going to have Eau Rouge and Raidillon. It was Charles Leclerc in P2. through Eau Rouge and Radion, then into the Kemmel Straight. We've got a long straight here, and Charles Leclerc right on our gearbox. He's already pulling out of that slipstream before we even get round the bend, and we're going to head down this straight now. It's a complete drag race between us and the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc down into the braking zone. Max Verstappen looking to try and get involved here. We're up the inside of Charles Leclerc into the braking zone. We managed to stay ahead of Leclerc, and Leclerc has to back out of that move there that he was trying to make. Obviously, very wet conditions here in Spa. Not much grip if you go off the racing line. So Leclerc struggling for grip there as he tried to make a pass on us round the outside. But we do manage to stay ahead of Leclerc. No DRS for however long this rain stays on for, remember. So the overtakes that anyone is going to try and make has to come from raw pace. It's so easy to overtake down the Kemmel Straight with DRS. You just pull out of the slipstream once you get close enough, and then you're passed completely with straight line speed. But now it all relies on the machinery and, of course, the driving into the braking zone. Speaking of braking zones here, we struggle with a bit of understeer. You can see Leclerc running a tighter line through there, and Leclerc right on our gearbox. Bit of a wobble coming off the curb there as well. The curbs, no grip on these curbs at all once it's in the wet, so we need to be careful with how much curb we're actually taking through some of these corners. Now we get towards the back straight there. I think Leclerc had a bit of a moment of oversteer there coming through that right hand there. But now we're down the back straight. It's not even a straight because, as you can see, there's a turn there, and I just carry so much speed. We actually go off the track completely coming through there. It's completely flat out in the dry, but in the wet, I tried to take a flat out, completely flew off the track, but we don't gain too much of an advantage. I back up a little bit to let any advantage that we might have gained from going off the track there. I did cancel that out. But we do lead the race down into turn 1 for lap 2, and there we get that early turn in that I was looking for in qualifying. Just taking that curb for more rotation. And like I say, it's just complete a drag race down the Kemmel Straight. Like, who is going to have the faster car as we understeer completely through there? And again, we have to make a minor correction and cut the corner slightly because we would have just lost the back end through there, which Lando Norris has done before. He's currently in P5, our teammate Senna in P4. Will Senna be able to get on the podium with us this race? It would be nice to see us and our teammate on the podium together. We haven't seen that yet in the 2 seasons of this career mode so far. So hopefully we can see that soon, and I would like it to be here, but who knows. There's a yellow flag as we come through the whatever this corner is called, Lecom. I don't know the corner names in Spa. I'm actually just going to leave that. Here we are on board with Zhou Guanyu, I believe, in an Alfa Romeo, and there's another Alfa Romeo in front of him. It's Nicholas Latifi. Latifi has gone round. The man who has lost his seat in real life is losing his head in this race, and he is spun coming through a simple right-hander there. Luckily, he comes back onto the track with no cars on the way. But Latifi spinning completely there, and as we head back on board with ourselves, we are defending against Charles Leclerc down to the bus stop chicane. Leclerc getting aggressive, trying to make a move there. Like I say, no DRS to help him, so he's going to have to try and make a move off pure racecraft and skill, and he takes the fastest lap of the race too. He's of course sat in our slipstream for every portion of this track, down the straights and stuff, so he is of course faster than us down the straights. Even with that engine in the car, Ferrari do have the best engine on the grid at the moment, so they will of course be faster than us anyway, but we are still managing to stay ahead. There's a new strategy available on the MFD here on lap 5. The track is looking to dry up a little bit. The rain has stopped falling in certain areas of the track, and it definitely did feel a lot more dry, but there was still spits of rain coming down, as you can see as we come through this right-hander. There's still rain on the screen, but with it being such a long track, I was going to give it another lap, but with Spa being such a long lap, like 1 minute 55 as you can see, or 54 in the wet conditions, with it being such a long lap, I thought if we give it another lap and stay out for one more, then by the time we come in it'll probably be too late and we'll get undercut by anyone who has gone onto the fresh rubber. So I decided to just come in when the engineers said so. We get an optimal turn in there for our pit stop, and we are going to slap on the hard tyres and go to the end of the race now. And if you check in the top left, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen have put on soft tyres. So, and DRS is now enabled, so the overtake should be easier. But Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, our two closest rivals in this race, have put on soft tyres, as we have a massive snap of oversteer there coming through Eau Rouge. That was a scary one. But yeah, they're running a 2-stop strategy. There's no way to go until the end on soft tyres. Have Leclerc and Verstappen just completely bottled this race, because we're going to go to the end on these hards. Stroll, Sainz and Senna, the 3 cars that have not pit yet, they will pit at the end of this lap. Let's see what they go on to. Are we the only car on hard tyres? Is everyone running a 2-stop? Is that the plan, to run a two-stop? Like, is that the better strategy? I don't know. I just thought, of course, we'll slap on the hards and go to the end of the race, because there's only, there's not that many laps compared to, but speaking of soft tyres anyway, is the soft tyres the better option? Here goes Charles Leclerc round the outside into turn 1. Leclerc with more grip on those tyres. He's going to be a bit faster, but does not manage to make a move. By the way, Sainz and Senna come out of the pits on hard tyres. I don't know if you noticed. Sainz and Senna come out of the pits on hard tyres. They're also going to the end of this race. Lando Norris in P4 on the softs, and Fernando Alonso in P5 on the softs. These guys are going to run a two-stop strategy. And as we get to lap 11, you can see there, Charles Leclerc into the pits, Verstappen into the pits, and Lando Norris also into the pits, and the sun has completely come out now, as you can see. There's no more rain, no more dull grey clouds, and we're currently sat in P1 in this race. The closest man behind, Carlos Sainz, is 8 seconds behind, and we may have just been gifted a win here. Like, this is really crazy. There's 10 laps left to go in this race, and Sainz has 8 seconds to try and make up in 10 laps. His tyres are 1 lap fresher than ours. Our teammate Senna currently in P3, 11.8 seconds behind. So hopefully, if everything stays as is, we will be on the podium with our teammates. But of course, nothing stays as is. Max Verstappen is out of the session and the safety car is out. Let's see what happened here. Into the bus stop chicane, it's Verstappen against one of the Mercedes, and Verstappen spins and loses a tyre and his front wing. That's a very weird moment from Max Verstappen. Too wide through the bus stop chicane. That's a very low speed impact to be able to lose a tyre there. I think that might be George Russell in the Mercedes. He loses his front wing, the Mercedes anyway. But that is a very low speed collision to lose a tyre from. But yeah, the safety car is out with 9 laps left to go in this race. Now I'm thinking, okay, so we've got Leclerc and Norris in P4 and P5. They're on fresh and medium tyres. Their tyres are only 2 laps old, I want to say. We've got Sainz and Senna who are going to the end on these hard tyres in P2 and P3. If you check the bottom right, if we come into the pits now, we have fresh mediums. If we come into the pits now, we'll rejoin in 3rd place ahead of Leclerc. That'll give us fresh tyres to be able to defend against Leclerc on the safety car restart, and it will also give us fresh tyres to try and attack the top 2, Senna and Sainz, who will be right behind the safety car. So we come into the pits. We're currently in P1, 8.5 seconds ahead of P2. Is this a risk? Is this a gamble? Or is it a 300 IQ play? We'll have to wait and see and find out. We come into the pits. We're putting on fresh medium tyres. Will we come out in P3 like the MFD said, or will Leclerc get the jump on us? Let's find out. This could be big brain moments here. We come into the pits. Optimal turning. Let's see. A bit slow on the front right, but we have a 2.5 second pit stop. Sainz and Senna do go past. They catch the safety car. We are going to come out of the pits in P3. The MFD did not lie. Leclerc nowhere to be seen as we come out there. We're going to come out with fresh mediums. We will have time behind the safety car to get them in a working window as well and heat them up. So that is absolutely perfect. As you can see, we do catch up to the safety car now. Could this be the best play you have ever seen in an F1 race? Zhou Guan Yu out of the session behind the safety car. I don't know how you managed to do that. Romain Grosjean-esque, dropping your car behind the safety car. But yeah, fresh mediums. Now here we go, safety car in this lap. We're on the restart. Old hard tyres for Senna and Sainz. I wonder if they've been able to keep some heat in them. We have Leclerc and Norris behind us on fresh mediums, but we have the freshest tyres on the grid at the moment. And let's go racing again. Green flags as we cross the line down to turn 1. Sainz has got the jump on Senna. Sainz flying ahead and down into turn 1. We are right on the gearbox of Senna. You can see that speed we're carrying already and the extra grip from these medium tyres. Senna looks like he's struggling on those tyres there. Maybe he didn't manage to keep enough heat in them through behind the safety car. As we come through Eau Rouge and Radion now, we're using that battery charge already, and we're right on the gearbox of Senna. Almost collision at the top of the hill there. But before we even get to the DRS line, which of course is not active because we've just came out of the safety car, we are past Senna and down to the braking zone. Hopefully we can stay ahead of him there. We outbrake ourselves a little just in case Senna wanted to send one up the inside, which I think he might have thought about, but he didn't. Let's get a replay of that overtake on Senna because that was very high speed. I thought we were going to crash there, take us both out of the race. That would have been a dramatic moment, but as we reach the top of the hill, you can see there, it looks like we drifted around the corner and just absolutely catapult past Senna. And that's a great camera angle there to get the rear view of our teammate chasing us down. But we are past our teammate. We have no threat from Leclerc and Norris, who I thought might have threatened us on the medium tyres. That's why we came onto the mediums. And now we have 6 laps to go to try and chase down the race leader, Carlos Sainz. Can we try and get him? We will have DRS in a lap or 2. Is it 2 laps after the safety car? I don't know. I can't remember. But we might not even need it. As we've just saw with Senna, we beat him on completely raw pace. And getting down into the bus stop chicane again, we are right on the back of Carlos Sainz and into the bus stop chicane. We outbrake ourselves late on the brakes, but Carlos is going to stay ahead. He sets himself up nicely to just take a normal racing line. We absolutely yeet ourselves up the inside there to try and make a move, but it won't stick. Here we go, a few laps later though, to start lap 18. 4 laps left to go in this race. We are still in P2 behind Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, of course, our closest championship rival. It would be very nice to take this win away from him and get those extra points on top of him that we are already ahead in the Drivers' Championship, of course. But as we come through at the top of the hill again, it's a repeat of what we've done to Senna. It's a complete drag race down the Kemmel Straight. It doesn't even need to be a drag race because we're already ahead. With that rear wing open, using some battery charge deployment down into the braking zone. No threat from behind from Carlos Sainz, and we retake the lead of this race on lap 18 of 22. Big brain moments from us with that pit stop. Sainz on these old hard tyres, he's not going to be able to come back at us at any point in this race. And on lap 22, it is the victory lap. We're coming around the corner. Leclerc's actually taken his teammate and our teammate. Our teammate has fell all the way down to P5. Lando Norris with those medium tyres beating out Senna. Leclerc beating out Senna and also beating Sainz. Leclerc currently in P2, and that's huge for the championship, of course, because Sainz, the man in P2 in the championship, you'd think team orders at Ferrari, they'd let Sainz win or, well, go ahead of Leclerc, but we're about to cross the line here in Spa, and it was a very fun race, a very great strategy from me, and we do some donuts on the line there and completely spin the car as we cross the line. Lucky we didn't do that too early and miss like the actual finish line. Imagine I just spun the car out right in the line and Sainz crossed first. But driver of the day goes to Lewis Hamilton. I get that the driver of the day just goes to whoever makes up the most places, but driver of the day should have went to us because that play to go onto those medium tyres was a great play. And like I say, the reason why I did come into the pits was, of course, to try and get the jump on the hard tyres runners in front of us, but I was concerned about those medium tyre runners behind us, Leclerc and Norris. Now it's unclear whether Leclerc would have caught us if we stayed out on those hard tyres, but Leclerc did catch his teammate and overtake his teammate and finish P2 in this race, so who knows, Leclerc might have taken that win away from us. And yeah, that's just a great strategy, and this is why I love Formula 1, because when you pull off plays like that, you just feel great. And you know, I feel like, of course, we were supposed to take the penalty in this race and it didn't get given to us, but with the way the strategy played out in this race with the safety car and stuff, and with our race pace, you saw in qualifying our pace, and even in the race itself, like our pace around Spa, I don't feel like the penalty would have mattered much because we were just that fast anyway. As you can see, we had the fastest lap of the race, 1:46.1. That's 0.3 quicker than the next quickest lap on the grid. So yeah, our pace this weekend was insane. 26 points, you love to see it. Of course, we had Verstappen retire from this race. Well, he didn't retire, he crashed out of the race with that collision with George Russell. I think it was George Russell, yeah. So here's the standings, how they look after that race. We are 31 points ahead of Carlos Sainz and now 50 points ahead of Max Verstappen. Our teammate Senna picking up some decent points there. He's now 3 points behind Jenson Button. Jenson managed 7 points in like 8 races, and it only took Senna 2 to catch up to him. Speaking of 2, we are 2 points behind Ferrari in the constructors standings, so we just need one more good race from me and Senna, and we will be ahead of Ferrari in the constructors, which is what we love to see. We haven't led the constructors at any point in this season so far, so winning the constructors would be a very nice bonus for the team. That's why we invested so much in Ayrton Senna as our teammate. We pick up that DRS upgrade I mentioned at the start of the episode. We don't have enough to pick up the front downforce upgrade, but we will be able to get that before USA. There's a big gap. We do have Zandvoort and Monza. Then there's a big gap between the next race, which is the USA Grand Prix, and we will be able to bring in a lot of upgrades before then. But One more thing I do want to mention before this video ends. FIFA comes out tomorrow, as of the day I'm recording and uploading this video. So the uploads might be a bit different. This week we're still sticking with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But from then on, the upload schedule might be a bit different. I'm not sure when the F1 videos will be coming, but they will be coming. So stay tuned on the channel. Best way to get notified is by hitting that subscribe button and turning the notification bell on. And you'll never miss an upload when it does drop. If you did enjoy this video, like, comment, share and subscribe. You know the vibes, people. I will catch us next time. Take it easy.